This is Jess with Local Music Somewhere, and you're listening to rBeatz Radio. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm Jess with rBeatz, and we're here with the Local Music Somewhere segment. And today we have LucasBeam in the studio. Lucas, how are you?
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I'm a little
Doing
tired
all
already,
little.
but
Yeah, it's a little early, all right. But you are a Salisbury-based musician, and for those of you who don't know, I've known Lucas for a little bit, so I'm familiar with your music and your style. But
yeah.
why don't you go ahead and kind of give a little intro to what you're all about musically here?
Um. So I some of my biggest influences are bands like Coldplay. I'm a big Justin Bieber fan. I listen to a lot of country music as well. A lot of what I write about comes from my faith in God. As a Catholic Christian, um, the struggles I deal with on a daily basis, and what I believe in. But I write a lot about other topics as well. Just love, heartbreak, sorrows, things that everyone can relate to. But what really drives me is definitely my faith in God. So that's a lot of what I write about. I wouldn't
Right.
consider myself a worship artist, um, but I and the way I express myself is inspired by my faith.
Right. Yeah, and you've always been that way. When I met Lucas, we had been working and shopping songs, writing a bit and, singing and playing guitar. And you came in with that guitar. And, the first thing I noticed about your vocals is, you can do what Chris Martin does with the kind of flips up into falsetto. And Lucas can hold these long high notes.
Yeah.
And you also kind of have this Timberlake texture to some of your verse,
Yeah,
things that you do.
I remember you telling me one time my voice is like a mix of Justin Timberlake and Jason Mraz. I think I
Oh,
remember that.
yeah,
Yeah.
we hear Mraz in there too.
Right.
Yeah. But you're cultivating your sound, but you've also got this, really open, jangly guitar. Let's talk about this latest single that you have. I know you've been working on music for a while, but you have a single that came out last month. Can you tell us more about that?
So I put out a single last in August, and the song is called "I'll Get There." Um, and it's almost kind of like a brief autobiography of myself, just growing up and not being a perfect person, making mistakes, um, and not being a finished product, but through God's grace, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna become that finished product someday. We're all hopefully striving to be a better person each day. Each morning I wake up and I try to be better than I was yesterday. And the way I feel I can only do that is with God's grace, and um, you know, with His help, each day I strive to be a better person, and so a lyric in the song, it goes, still a long way to heaven, but with His grace I'll get there. And so that's really what the song's about, is I will be there, walking in streets of gold. I will be in a heavenly place one day.
And it really sounds very inspiring because I know you work with the studio about an hour north of Charlotte, Hit Music
Yeah,
Studios with Jim Mosier.
yeah,
Um, but there's like, long, lengthy guitar parts in there. There's like ethereal pop sensibility to the work. And I think it's just a really good, great single that expresses exactly what you're talking
yeah.
about there.
I think you can see a lot of my musical influences as well in the song, especially Coldplay. I
Yeah.
kind of think the chorus. I've got some harmonies in the chorus. I almost me and Jim think it kind of sounds like the Eagles a little bit.
Ah, yeah.
The way they do their vocal harmonies. Um, but yeah, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of the songwriting. I'm really proud of the vocals. Um, I'm proud of the song. I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And the thing about you, Lucas, you're one of the most unique people I know because you are not afraid to learn new things. And
Oh,
let me just tell people, okay, a little bit extra about you. You know, Lucas is the type of person that, he'll pick up jujitsu or learning Spanish with Duolingo in his front yard. I mean, he learned it over COVID and went to Argentina. And you just like, you'll find something and you'll learn it and kind of
right.
master that. And like, tell us what it is about you that, drives you to do that or have that capability.
Well, I think that goes back to what I was saying about trying to be a better person each day. You know, you try to be
Yeah.
better. I try to be better physically. I try to be better mentally. I try to be better spiritually every single day of my life. And like I said, it just goes back to you know my faith. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
here, and I'm here. I'm living. I'm breathing. I'm blessed to be alive. Any day that you wake up and you're breathing, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter where you are. If you are breathing right now, you are blessed because you're alive. And when you're alive, you can live. And so, um, I have a lot of interests. I have a wide range of interests, and
Hmm.
anything that kind of captures my eye, I like to grab it. I like to
Yeah.
I like to I like to chase after things. I like to learn. I like to grow. I like to grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um
Yeah, you like to fully exist too and taste all the fruits of life, I feel. And that's something that, I admire about you. Um, so now we talked about your influences, and another thing that you're obviously doing is you're playing out live. I mean, you've played the
uh,
Cheerwine Festival, you'll dabble in open mics and other things. So tell us a little bit about that.
so coming up October 6th at 5:30, I will be playing at Busker Bash in downtown Salisbury. It's an event, where they have, buskers, across the town and playing. So I'll be playing at that. That'll be my next live gig. But I really enjoy playing out, you know, especially at breweries and just local places. Everyone dreams of being big and being famous and being an international superstar. But the truth is, if everyone was that, there wouldn't be people to play at these local places. These local breweries, these local bars, local
Hmm.
whatever. These businesses, these places, they need people to play. And you have to start somewhere as a musician. And I enjoy doing it, and
Hmm.
I'm gonna keep doing it. So
Right. And I think that that kind of goes with your faith-based ideas, and I wanted to ask you because I think you're the first Christian-based artist that we've had on this segment. How does your faith kind of play a role in your creative process? Like, do you feel, some people when they write, they feel it kind of comes from a different place and there may be more of a conduit, or like, how does that kind of come into play for you?
I, I I take forever to write songs. I'm not one to ever write a song in 10 minutes. But I just I see things in life, and when I live, and I see things that give me inspiration, and words pop in my head. I'm like, hey, that sounds pretty cool, So I
Hmm.
put it in my notes, and it's almost like I'm building a puzzle when I'm writing a song. Um,
Hmm.
and just whatever God reveals to me in my life, I use it, I take it, and I don't leave any stone unturned. I take what He gives me, one step at a time.
That's great. Yeah, so you have a longer songwriting process. You kind of wait for that to, be revealed and feel right, I guess, each section, but you obviously have a lot of skill that you've developed over the years, and your guitar playing. Any other instruments? I know we were dabbling in keys for a minute there, but how's that going?
I play a little bit of piano. I don't consider myself a pianist by any measure, but I can play chords good enough, I guess. Um, but I in school I played French horn. I played in the college marching band at University of South Carolina. I played trumpet. So brass instruments. I mainly play acoustic guitar. I don't
Yeah,
play a lot of electric. I definitely think my best instrument is my voice. It's I think it's the instrument that I have the most natural talent with. Um, So that's what I would consider to be my best instrument, if you would consider a voice to be an instrument.
Oh, I definitely would. I feel like it could totally lead, your
Yeah.
artistic way.
Yeah.
Um, so your writing process, we've covered that, and you're on the show today. So, you are also aware of what it takes to kind of get your music out there and what
Yeah.
promotion is and being online. So, can you tell us a little bit about your strategy with that or kind of what you're doing?
Oh, well, so I was really excited when you asked me to come on the show because you know,
I was
this is
excited too. I was like, we need
my first
Lucas on
radio
here.
interview. So, like I said earlier, everyone has to start somewhere. One step leads to another, but
Hmm.
other things I've been doing, I've been volunteering with WBFJ Radio in Winston-Salem, for the past few years, and making connections there, just networking. Um, you gotta take shots in the dark, with people in the industry. You just have to send messages. Maybe they don't get messages. Maybe they do. You have to take shots, and sometimes those shots hit. So you have to network. You have to meet people, and you have to be authentically yourself. I don't want to be someone who I'm not.
Hmm.
So I want to present myself, network, meet people, and I think um, as long as I keep doing that, people will discover my music and people
Right.
will discover me as a person. So,
Right. So when you're talking about French horn and you were kind of going back into the instruments a bit, when did it really start for you? Like, when did you feel like, oh, music is my gig? Like, what was that?
well, I certainly did not think, 15 years ago I would be making music. I really didn't. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I wanted to be a baseball player when I grew up. But
Oh, really? You never told me that.
I don't know. It's just one of those. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a big famous athlete. But um, I started playing music. I sang a little when I was younger, and I'd sing in church some, and but I never really thought it would bring me here. In middle school, 6th grade, I started playing with the band, and just started learning more about music. And then I got to college, and then I think between my freshman and sophomore year, summer break, I picked up guitar. I don't remember. I was 18, 17, somewhere around that age. Um, but the song that inspired me to start playing guitar is "Fast Car" by Tracy Chapman. I heard it one day for the first time, and I was like, "Wow, I should start playing guitar." And so I just picked it up, and I've learned most of my guitar playing from YouTube videos and just self teaching, um and then I realized, hey, I'm kind of good at guitar, and I started singing with the guitar, and I always knew I had a pretty good voice, but I started singing as well with the guitar, and I was like, wow, I've got a gift here, and like I
Mhm.
said, like going back to what I was saying, whatever God gives you, you need to use it, so if I've got a gift, I've got to use it. If you got a gift, if there's a gift, there's a purpose. So
Mhm.
I realized I need to make music. I'm gonna glorify God. I'm going to do it the best that I know how to. And so I realized, yeah, this is something
Yeah.
I can do.
Right. And it's coupled with your tenacity, which is also another gift that's extremely valuable. Your writing has changed so much since, just the beginning of all that. You're like
Yeah,
absorbing everything you like about music and you keeping your ears open. And so I love to see how you grow and where you go, every year that goes by. We've
yeah.
got more LucasBeam, just moving through the space here. So, in terms of that, what's coming for you? Like what's down the road? What are you kind of hoping to do over the next
So
year, maybe 5 years? What is the deal?
I'm gonna put out a few singles every few months, and push them and promote them. I've got another song I'm gonna put out next month. I don't know exactly when. I have a date, but I don't know if I want to say it yet. But um,
So, sometime in October.
October, yeah. And that song is really cool. I'm really proud of the vocals on that song. It's a piano song, so it's
Ooh.
yeah. So I'm gonna put that out then, and then I'm gonna wait a couple more months. Put out another song, and I'm gonna get back in the studio here in the next couple months, and maybe record something else. And I'm just gonna pump out songs every few months,
Hmm.
and um, kind of gain some attention and notoriety, and we'll see where it goes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're on the way. I'm so excited to hear what's next from you. Everyone, make sure to follow Lucas's socials. They're all going to be linked in the description. Lucas, it was so good to have you on the show today. Do you feel like you have anything that you'd like to tell our listeners? I know you're full of advice, but any one last piece today?
This is only the beginning. I'm not a finished product, so I'm gonna get, like I said, I'm gonna get better each and every day. Um, and my music
Word,
is gonna get better each and every day. So
words of wisdom. Well, thank you so much, Lucas, for joining us
yeah,
today.
thank you for inviting
All,
me.
all right, guys. Well, we'll catch you next time on Local Music Somewhere. I'm Jess with rBeatz. Y'all have a good one. Thanks as always for tuning into rBeatz Radio. Search for more local music somewhere on rbeatz.com and follow our social media for highlighted artists as we travel with hashtag local music somewhere.